If you knew morning wood, then you know why I feel blue. Without morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Pretty, 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 pretty morning wood. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you and I need you, morning wood. I love you, morning wood, with a love so rare and true. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Well, I love you, I want you, morning wood.
Rise and shine. Happy Devil's Sunday. This is The Morning Woo. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker. Undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and now on Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live on this beautiful Sunday, January 4th, 2026. Talking Devils hockey, lots to talk about. Devils winning yesterday at the Rock against the Utah Mammoth by the score of 4-1. Great game by Jacob Markstrom. His goaltending is improving. The team is playing with a lot more energy since Connor Brown, yes, that downtown Connor Brown, speaking up in the second intermission against the Columbus Blue Jackets on New Year's Eve game. Oh, yeah. Things are just hunky-dory for the last 4 periods of New Jersey Devils hockey. Playing defense, playing with some energy, helping each other out. It's amazing what one player can do when they start holding each other accountable. So that begs the question, what was said in the locker room? What was said in the locker room that inspired the Devils, who couldn't even get a goal against the Columbus Blue Jackets and were shut out against the Toronto Maple Leafs? So you're talking about 5 periods of being shut out. What? How come the Devils couldn't do anything, but it took a Connor Brown to step up, voice his opinion? What happened? Well, it just so happens that our good friend Danielle McCartan, a WFAN, happened to ask Nico Hischier in an interview it's actually on WFAN. She interviewed Nico Hischier and actually asked him, well, what did Connor Brown say? What did Connor Brown say? And realize, sometimes the players, they'll try to say the right things, but it's kind of like the same old thing. But Danielle kept on pressing. First, Nico Heischer in the interview was like, some of the things that he said kind of stays in the locker room. Fair. We don't need that kind of details, although that would be kind of juicy to get that. But something that caught my attention. And it caught my attention, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Now, we all know Nico, he leads by example. I will never question Nico Heischer on that. It's quite obvious. I mean, the other night, when he took on Nyes in Toronto, trying to get his team going, obviously outmatched, but he didn't care. He was frustrated. He wanted to get things going. But Nico Heischer in that interview said, I'm not really a vocal leader. And, it's nice that other guys speak up. I mean, the other day, Jack Hughes, he spoke up. It was well documented by Amanda Stein. But it seems like, based on the interview, and again, you could go to the Odyssey app on WFAN and listen to the interview that Danielle McCartan had with Nico Heischer. It sounds like if you put all the pieces to this puzzle that we've done on the Let's Go Devils podcast, Nico is not really a vocal leader because this is not who he is. The other players, well, I guess they rarely speak up themselves. Connor Brown speaking up. And the third thing I'm getting is we've also learned from Nick Villano, based on an interview, Sheldon Keefe is not in the locker room during intermissions. So it begs the question, who's speaking up during intermissions in the locker room? And maybe that was the problem all along. Maybe, and I've talked about this many, many times on this podcast, every player has to be everyday leaders. Every player needs to contribute. It's not just on the ice, it's off the ice. And if that's all it took for Connor Brown to speak up and finally start calling people out, I guess when they're down and they got really down, you need to have players to speak up. And I've been saying this for a long time now. You just can't have Nico do everything. This is a team sport. Jack should be speaking up. Jesper Bratt should be speaking up. Timo Meier should be speaking up. Granted, I think they're very quiet. But this is why Palat's supposed to be here. This is what Connor Brown is bringing that experience from the Edmonton Oilers, who went to the Stanley Cup Finals twice. So the Devils, they got to speak up and get engaged and get everybody involved. Meadowlander, happy Devil Sunday to you, Meadowlander. I hope to see you on the bus trip. Need locker room leadership. Yeah, because if Sheldon Keefe is not in the locker room, which, again, I'm just basing everything, what I'm listening to these interviews, and if the players aren't really speaking up, and that was like, one of a rare time that the Connor Brown's speaking up, what are they doing in the locker room? Sulking? No wonder this team, it just shows on the ice. Everybody's waiting for somebody to say something, but really, a true team, as a team, they should be proactively talking to each other. It's more than just getting each other fired up, but they got to communicate in the locker room. I don't want to see guys just sitting there waiting for 10 minutes and then go back on the ice. No. That's the time to engage. And I've said this all for a long time now, especially this season. There's no friction in the locker room is actually a good thing. Accountability is actually a good thing. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes in my career, when I have to tell an employee that you suck, pretty much, you better step up your game before you're out of here. Those are hard conversations. But you got to do the nitty gritty and speak up in the locker room amongst yourselves. Players should really police themselves. If you're not putting the effort in, you need to be called out. At the same time, it's like, where's Sheldon Keefe? Are the assistant coaches? Are they in the locker room? I don't know. Dubzilla. Happy Devil Sunday to you, Dubzilla. So we're talking about speaking up in the locker room. And again, the 4:20 a.m. convenient time. That 4:20 a.m. interview was a taped interview that Danielle McCartan had with Nico Hischier. She asked a lot of questions, but the one she kept on digging at with Nico Hischier was what was said in the locker room. And how did you guys come out? And it obviously got positive results. And Nico Hischier, you kind of like felt like kind of during the interview, he was kind of feeling like, a little slighted, like, hey, you're questioning my leadership. But then he realized, no, I'm not very vocal. And he doesn't need to be. The great teams that the Devils have had, Scott Stevens as captain, he also had Ken Danico in the locker room. And Danico will set the tone. Ken Danico will be your biggest cheerleader. But he'll also be the one to get you back on track. Again, Scott Stevens, he wasn't very vocal either. But when he spoke, everybody listened. That's the kind of respect and command that he had. But I just can't believe that this locker room doesn't have leaders just ripping into the players if you're not playing well. No wonder they're just look like they're sleepwalking half the times. It's very interesting. If you go to WFAN, the Odyssey app, around 4:20 a.m., Danielle McCartan, she interviews Nico Hischier, the captain, New Jersey Devils. It was really good. Steve Tartas says Claude was huge for those early New Jersey Devils teams. And Claude Lemieux was a pain in the ass. And as an agent, he's still a pain in the ass. And that's a good thing. For the players, at least. But friction in the locker room. I remember there was back in 93 when Herb Brooks, the late Herb Brooks, was coaching that Devils team. The players hated each other. There was problems in that locker room. Scott Stevens wanted out. He wanted to go back to St. Louis, if you remember. But there's nothing wrong about friction. That's why when Tom Fitzgerald would say, we don't want any dickheads in this locker room. Well, I beg to differ. You need dickheads in the locker room. You need somebody that's forceful. You don't need every guy to be a dickhead because you'd have a bad locker room, but you need that healthy balance. Friction is good. It is good. It's a very good thing. And I think this team is just too nice. Too nice. But they're getting better. Connor Brown, thank goodness you spoke up. I love to hear Nico Hischier saying some of the things he said, he stays in the locker room. That's a leader right there. He's protecting his team, but what said was said. You're getting positive results. You're building that momentum. Devils on a 2-game winning streak right now. They're playing Carolina Hurricanes 7 p.m. Eastern tonight at The Rock. Keep talking. Talk to each other in that locker room. Speak up. Don't be afraid to call each other out. It's not a bad thing. Dubzilla says Nico drove play yesterday very well. Got the crap beat out of himself often, so things could happen. The Rock was rocking, all around solid game. Yeah, like even Nico Hischier, like I almost want to tell him, like, buddy, and I mean this sincerely, buddy, like, don't be sacrificing yourself like a sacrificial lamb to get your team going all the time. All right, it's their responsibility to get themselves going. I get it, you're the captain of the team, but you know what? You can't just do this all on your own. But I'm glad, again, that's the first step. It takes a team to win championships. It takes a team to win games. You can't do it individually, especially in ice hockey. It just doesn't work that well. Eventually, if you play the individual game, eventually it'll catch up to you as a team. Steve Dartas says LeChance starting to find his game in Utica. He may be here before the end of the year. Lenny Amenaho, likely the next recall. Lenny is ready. Well, all good positive news. Still waiting on Shimon Nemec and Kovacevic. But I don't mind some of these AHL players coming up to the big club, because I like players that are hungry, that are desperate, that would do anything for the team. And there's only 20 spots, folks. You hold these players accountable. It's amazing how everyone starts to play better. And let's see that happen tonight at The Rock against the Carolina Hurricanes. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Devils come out and get a win. Because that Metropolitan Division, have you seen the standings? I mean, the Devils don't even have a wild card spot, but a couple wins here and they're in first place. There's just so many teams log-jammed. And you got to credit the New York Islanders and Matthew Schaefer. I mean, they are the surprise team of that division. The Columbus Blue Jackets are dead last. I believe the Devils are second to dead last, but there's just not many points in between the bottom feeders and the top. I think it's 4 points I counted. So, last I checked, I should have checked this morning, but speak up. And that's the title of the podcast today. They got to speak up. Like, I can't believe it was that simple. Just based on the interviews you hear. You try to get clues, what's going on. And I love that Nico Hischier interview by Danielle, because it was like that aha moment. Wow, really? You just assumed that players would just step up in the locker room and call each other out. But I guess they're not very vocal. Well, they should learn to be. They should learn to be. It's not a bad thing. By the way, the Colorado Avalanche defeated the Carolina Hurricanes yesterday 5-3. So both teams playing a second half of a back-to-back. The Devils have the advantage of the home ice. Let's see if the Devils can come out strong in that first period. set the tone of the game and start chipping away at the Carolina Hurricanes, who have their injury issues. Steve Tartas is going to be scouting the Utica game. Starts at 5 p.m. this Saturday. But yeah, I guess that's all it takes. Well, anyway, I got to get out of here. I'll be at American Whiskey for Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. I will be downstairs, the main floor. A lot of complaints. People want my presence downstairs instead of upstairs. It's going to be a busy day at Prudential Center. Lots of events going on. American Whiskey is actually open, I believe, at 9 a.m. because I think they have an event prior. Plus, they've got some private events going on at American Whiskey. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. All right. Well, I want to thank all of you tuning in on the Morning Woo. And the attic is better. Well, we're going to rename it the Penthouse. Sounds more risque. The Penthouse at American Whiskey. All right. Going to do the ceremonial sip, folks. Let's get it out here. Met a lot of Devils fans yesterday. I'll be there today. So I'm going to salute Connor Brown, downtown Connor Brown, for speaking up, and hopefully he speaks up some more. Get some real leadership on this team. I drink to that. Till next time, this is the Morning Woo. Let's go, Devils.
My heart yearns for you. Oh, morning, my morning woo. Oh, well, I love you. Yes, I love you. Morning.